was thinking. I was thinking that we've done a pretty good job of like scaffolding, like, so the first one was just focused on one character and one characteristic, right? The discussion. And then the other day we did Aunt Susanna, and that was kind of just like, what do we know from chapter 7 about Aunt Susanna? But the actual like standard says, which I hadn't really paid that much attention to the second part of the standard, but it says internal and external whatever traits or character, internal motivation. And so I was thinking, because I was looking at next week of what the chapters are, and one of them's Henry. It's all about Henry. So since we've already done like one little, like, offer a characteristic, and then it was like build on that with Aunt Susanna, maybe we could do sort of the same thing as we did with Aunt Susanna, like provide them with like maybe a silhouette of like somebody speaking or something, like just like the head instead of a whole body. And have them put like what Henry's actions are, like his external things are on the outside, because we've learned a lot about Henry, or they've learned a lot about Henry leading up to the chapter about Henry. Don't you think they'd be able to show like things that he's done externally and like the reasons behind that, maybe like the internal conflict that he's having? So I wonder if there's something we could do that pulls in some of the historical facts that we've been introduced to. You know, like they've mentioned prohibition, they've mentioned the Emancipation Proclamation. I mean, we know about Jim Crow laws have been talked about.
And like all the organizations, like the UNIA and
yeah. I wonder how we could do that.
Could we put them could we go through and find those different things and then put them in breakout rooms? And as a breakout room, have them talk about how that piece affects the setting of the story?
Yeah, how would they share that out with the group?
To the group.
And have somebody share out?
Yeah.
Like how we can have, if we want like something that we can like grade almost, or even if not, like if we do like we did before and have each group like make some kind of poster, like some kind of visual to put in a media album or discussion board, just so there's
like, and then we just need to think about if somebody does not show up to the Zoom, how are we going? Did
you see the reflection that I did for the individual, and it had a place in there where they could include their summary
in the form?
If you were not with the group.
I know. So. Yeah, it was for sure clear. I had a couple kids come up to me and say, which one am I supposed to click? I'm like, well,
yeah. I feel like starting like Thursday and like all the rest of the small group things, we need to kind of figure out how we're going to set that up. Like, are we going to have a separate submission? Are we not? And just like have it the same
next week
instead of changing it.
So far, we have 7.7b, which is characters. We have the discussion board. We have Aunt Susanna. Those are both grades, right? Do we have anything? What else have we done for this unit? I mean, we have their reflections, but that's 7.1d, right? In a grade, performance grade on 7.2 for vocabulary. Are we doing that Mimbean writing thing from Monday as a grade?
Yeah,
I think it should be, personally.
Okay. And then, there was something. And then the Tell a Story Tuesdays for today. What is that, a standard?
6B.
Okay. Okay, and then my other question before we start talking about next week is, for our summative grades, we have the organizational pattern test and essay in the magazine, which had 2 summative grades. So that's 4. What did we decide about putting this Rose Lee project on this marking period? Because we're going to work on it before spring break, but the grading period ends at spring break. So is that something that we don't want to grade?
And then the journal or the letters
That was
letters.
the characters.
And then the pictures were the setting.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a quote that we had them put on there also.
But what was it? Because it was, if they chose to do the letters, then that shows characterization. And then they had to do something that showed.
That was the quote. They had to choose a quote about
the setting. So the quote was whichever one they didn't do for the second part.
Yeah.
So the quote was either about the setting or about a character.
Mm-hmm.
We come to school all the days. Chapter 11 is on Tuesday, and that's the one about 4th of July. Gets up and does her speech.
I think it is.
Do we want to do something like we had talked about, having them compare or like look at different types of like different genres of like writing or reading or book literature or whatever? So in her like little speech, she's talking about the other side of the issue. Like she specifically says, I want to speak to you about the other side of this issue. I wonder if we could give them a sort of controversial topic and have them write the other side. So like give them like an opinion, something from a newspaper or magazine that's opinion, and then have them write the other side. Tuesdays.
So would this make the piece of their...
Are we not doing group thing?
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, we could do
Can
it.
we do it?
We could do it on. We'll see.
We could do it Friday because Wednesday is the Henry chapter. So we could do the activity thing that you're saying on Wednesday and then do that on Friday. Or if we can do it like the warm up, like they read something on Wednesday and then write the other side of it on Thursday for Thoughtful
Oh
Thursday.
yeah, we could do that. For like Wordy Wednesday, they could read some opinion article. And then Thursday, for Thoughtful Thursday, they can think about the alternate like opinion and write about that.
Think about the opposite side.
Might need to have some like scaffolded, like some like bridging the gap between reading the article and writing another opinion, like something where they're filling out like what are the opinions from the article, and like have them write it out. Like what facts did they use? And then like what would the other side of the opinion be? What facts could I use? You know, like, because just giving them a blank box, I'm not sure. Have y'all looked at your Rosalie, your Susanna pictures at all?
Some of them.
I was just curious what y'all thought, if you thought the kids were like getting some of this stuff, like actually understanding it.
Some of them are.
Or like when you're listening in on the discussion, the breakout rooms, do they sound like they're understanding the questions? Some of them.
Bless her heart.
They've talked to all of us about differentiation. So I was thinking, because these breakout rooms, now that they're getting a little bit better at it, they're not as they kind of like it moved along faster today than I guess it did the last time. But I was thinking, like, I wonder if we were to go through our classes and like just like we used to do for like e-time, like on a specific assignment, like make a list of the kids that need help. And like say on next Friday, when we would normally do like no red ink practice or quiz, if we did like an enrichment thing that was in Schoology for the kids that get it, like understand it, but then say like put the kids that didn't do well on commonly confused words or whatever like that, if we made a breakout room with them and then to us or worked together, like even if we weren't the one facilitating it, if they just worked together on, a separate assignment or something. I don't know. I was just thinking about that today. Like how can we use breakout rooms to differentiate? And then I was like, if we started looking at the data for like levels, like these kids really get it. These kids sort of get it. These kids don't get it at all. And then on some of the days, like Fridays or whatever, when we're not doing small group discussions, if we there was just 3 of them, 3 breakout rooms, like the kids working on this enrichment activity, the kids doing this like review activity, and the kids doing this like fill in the gap activity or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like there's some kids that are floundering and like they're just so far behind. And we're just like, we keep moving ahead, and they're just like still in organizational patterns.
Yeah. Well, I was feeling that way about some of the, like the in-text citations and I don't know, some of the other grammar. I just want to teach grammar again. That's all.
Well, maybe we could like do that instead on the 3rd Friday, like we had talked about doing the pre-assessment one Friday, the quiz the next Friday. Maybe the 3rd Friday needs to be whatever for the kids that have done consistently well, like on all 3 of them, or like all the ones we've done so far this marking period. And then for the kids that haven't, we do a small group or whatever, like a breakout room with, where we literally are like direct teaching them like we would in the classroom.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's necessary for all the kids, because some of these kids are doing, like the ones that are doing the practice and then doing the quiz, like some of them are doing really well learning it that way. But there's some kids that obviously don't get it. So maybe that can be the 3rd Friday thing.
For like Friday the 19th, do we want to try that out with commonly confused words?
Yeah, we could.
Let's see how that goes.
Okay, so just to review, Tuesday the 16th, they're reading chapter 11 and doing their small group discussion. Wednesday, they're reading chapter 12, the Henry chapter. And then for the warm-up, they're reading the opinion article. We're reviewing internal and external motivation as the study. They're doing the Henry face and the discussion post. And then Thursday is the small group discussion over chapters 12 and 13. And Friday is chapter 14. And then we're going to try to do the small groups in breakout rooms over the commonly confused words.
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to claim what days to put into Schoology?
I'll do Tuesday. You what, Stephanie?
I was gonna say I can do Tuesday and Thursday since they're kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Tuesday and Thursday.
And I'll do Thursday, and Thursday is chapter 12.
She just said you mean you're doing Wednesday?
I mean, Wednesday. I was looking at my thing and I just saw 4 days. So I just went with Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes, Wednesday.
And then I'll do Friday and figure out the no red ink thing. We just need to have whatever we're going to discuss in our small groups, like the direct instruction for us, and then tasks for the other small groups to do, which can be all the same thing for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Help us review tomorrow. Then Thursday, you're meeting with 6th grade, right, Stephanie? And then Friday, we have our off day, but we have the 3 hours in the afternoon. Are you just going to divide your time on that day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to be with y'all. I think there's like an hour and a half in the morning that I'll be with y'all, and then I'll be with 6th grade in the afternoon.
Okay.
Is my plan right now.
And then we're all together at lunch.
For Telepath.
Hey. Yay.
Okay. Are y'all good, or do we need to talk about anything else?
No.
Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow in Zoom.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.